What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. As we close the book on 2023 and we look forward to 2024, I think we should reflect on the year that was for Call of Duty, as it was a year filled with mistakes, and mistakes that alienated the community, that caused real consequences for Activision and the future of Call of Duty. And I want to touch on them today. I want to focus on them today because these are mistakes that never needed to happen. These were measures taken by members at Activision and at Call of Duty that, frankly, pushed people away from the franchise. Instead of trying to build your community and work hand in hand with them, they chose once again to turn their backs to the community and say, "We don't care about you. Please give us more money for this really bad cosmetic." And it all starts with Modern Warfare 2 and the absolute egregious ego that development team seemed to have. The members over at Infinity Ward decided to take zero feedback from the community, decided to implement zero changes that the community had asked for over the entirety of the game's lifecycle. I could excuse them not doing it in November and December, but not adjusting the game throughout the entirety of that game's lifecycle is a complete and utter non-starter for me. There's a reason why the player base dipped all year long and why they weren't able to gain traction with every new seasonal release. It's because the core gameplay lacked basic features that every single Call of Duty had. And it was a complete and utter travesty that they decided to not communicate with the community whatsoever, to not acknowledge the community's existence and try to work with them and try to make changes. That game will never not piss me off because there was real potential there. There was real opportunity for it. But again, Infinity Ward and all their glorious ego said, "We're Infinity Ward. What does this community know?" Well, guess what? This community knew how to recreate maps on Fortnite Creative. And what they did with Fortnite Creative was they decided to pay homage to the franchise they loved, to the franchise that was once great. And what they got was a letter from Activision saying, "Please remove these maps. You are violating copyright. Please take them down immediately." Instead of welcoming the opportunity to highlight this as something that is great for the community and maybe ask the question, why has Call of Duty never implemented a map editor? Why have we never let the community make their own maps? Instead of doing that, instead of doing anything reflective, no, we must shut this down. We must not allow this to see the light of day because these are fans that are enjoying our product, or at least our past product, not our current product. And that was what frustrated Activision and Call of Duty the most, is that these people would rather play Fortnite and spend money on Fortnite than play Call of Duty and spend money on Call of Duty. So we have to shut down their fun. Can't allow their fun to exist on Fortnite. So we have to get rid of it. And this was when the seed of alienated their community begun in 2023. Yes, there were issues with them not communicating with their community. There were issues with not implementing changes in MW2. But this was the first time we saw them mount some type of offensive against their own community and say, "We won't tolerate this nonsense." And of course, this all leads us to the biggest news story of the year, in my opinion, which was when Call of Duty sent a cease and desist order to the SM2 developers. To give you guys a little bit of backstory if you don't know already, SM2 was a fan-made, non-profit project that seeked out to bring some of the best of the Call of Duty legacy to the modern era. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to capture what made the old Call of Duty games great, but use today's technology to do it, something Call of Duty refuses to do. And guess what? The community was behind it. They were accepting of it. They wanted this to become real. As we got little sneak peeks behind the curtain through their Twitter updates, people got excited. They're like, "Oh my goodness, this is what we want." And the second Activision got a sniff, got wind of it, they said, "We can't have this. We can't have a direct competitor using our assets and trying to profit off it," which they weren't. They were just trying to help out the community, give the community some hope. And maybe by creating a competitor to Call of Duty, make Call of Duty work harder and actually make better quality games. But instead, what did they do? They turned to their old legal friend and said, send them a cease and desist. And while I understand it from a legal perspective, if you want to create a connection between yourself and your community, do not shut this kind of thing down. I talked about it at the time, how Robert Bowling, the former developer for Infinity Ward, blasted them for this because he said there are people who allow mods, allow people to modify their games, and they work with them, or there's the people who shut them down. And the franchises that shut these things down normally aren't the ones that succeed. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I still resonate with that tweet, and I still agree with it wholeheartedly. Because even now, 6 months after this occurred, 7 months after this occurred, it still pains me that we never got that opportunity. Because where would SM2 be now today if it was released, if it was put in the hands of this community? Would people realize just how far Call of Duty has fallen? Perhaps. I really wish that was the case. I really hope for that being the case. Because as it stands right now, Call of Duty is a complete and utter shell of its former self. What we see today in Modern Warfare 3 is nowhere near the type of quality that we used to see back in 2011, mind you. Yes, there are some improvements here and there, but as a collective, it has fallen greatly. And unfortunately, the expectations have only risen from many in this community. And what these decisions have led this community to do is alienate the franchise as a whole. Just throw it off. Hey, we don't want to deal with it. And shockingly, Modern Warfare 3 hasn't been selling well. Shockingly, people aren't engaging with this game. Shockingly, no one's talking about this game. Because who cares? It is a soulless, lifeless experience. It is there solely to try to sell you microtransactions. Everything in this game is inauthentic as it stands, which leads to maybe the most egregious mistake of 2023, which was releasing Modern Warfare 3 and trying to sell the community on the lie that this was a full-fledged, developed game that was meant to be its own release. You cannot convince me for a second that Modern Warfare 3 was not supposed to just be Year 2 content for Modern Warfare 2. And then Activision got their little greedy hands in there because they saw how poorly Modern Warfare 2 was being received, and they decided to change course. Add a campaign, add zombies. Hey, Treyarch, please help us out, please. And this is what we received. All of the corrections that the community asked for in Modern Warfare 3. These are going to be our main marketing points, guys, just so you know. And nothing else. Everything about this game points to their original plan being, this is going to be DLC. This is not going to be anything more than that. Giving Sledgehammer Games 15 months for it tells me right off the bat, they weren't taking this year seriously. They were ready for it to be an expansion. But at some point they had to pivot because they realized just how bad Infinity Ward was at their job. This is why they need to stop with the annual Call of Duty releases. They need to just figure something else out. Because Infinity Ward does not have it. Sledgehammer Games might have it, but they're never given the opportunity to show it. And with Treyarch, well, we know what we're getting with them. But 4 years in between Treyarch games is far too long for this community to suffer through the mediocrity of what we've received from both Sledgehammer's tight time restraints and the awfulness and egoness of Infinity Ward. Activision in 2024, Call of Duty in 2024 needs to take serious strides forward, because this alienating your community nonsense, making your community out to be the enemy, isn't going to cut it, isn't going to work. And only working with those who wipe your butt for you, who tell you good job when your game sucks, isn't how you get better. You get better by working with people who criticize your content, by working with people and listening to those who have constructive feedback for you. Why isn't Modern Warfare 3 successful? I could tell you. Hop on a Zoom call with me and I can outline a bunch of stuff that I've heard in this community. And guess what? It's going to put you to work. It's going to make you have to make this game a little bit more polished, a little bit more ironed out. You're going to at least have to release updates that don't break the game like every single update did in 2023. How is it that every time you update the game, something goes wrong in your code? It's because you're not incompetent. You're lazy. You're lazy. You do not have people that have any type of quality control over Call of Duty. And that's the problem. That's why things need to change. That's why things need to change course rapidly. I want to see major change happen to Call of Duty, and I'm hoping that 2023 is a step in the right direction, but we'll just have to wait and find out. Honestly, I'm hoping for more of a train wreck because, hey, it makes great content. But sometimes I just want to sit here, guys, and tell you Call of Duty's in a great spot. I'd love to get there in 2024. I'd love to sit here and say, guys, for the first time in a decade, it looks as if Call of Duty's finally on track. But they've got to do something to show me that. They've got to do something to prove to me that they've learned from their consistent mistakes. Only time will tell, I guess. But that's all I have for this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in regards to anything we talked about, including other mistakes that Activision might have made or Call of Duty might have made along the way in 2023. So let me know with the comment down below. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. We're nearing 2024, guys, so thank you so much for an amazing 2023, and I look forward to making more content next year. Thank you.